LMSY are going on a Fanmeeting World Tour this year. And I could not be more excited about the besties for them having the opportunity to meet LMSY potentially in their country or nearby. Obviously, I got called out for calling it World Tour because they only have a couple of locations. I was like, is that a World Tour? And you're right. It's not in theory, but the reality is how many thaigl couples have we have who have left the borders of Thailand or, just been outside of Thailand and China, for example. The reality is very, very few. I mean, we've had LingOrm, we've had Fayatom, Inglot, but not many. Really, really not many. Like we can count probably on one hand. So it is a very, very nice to see, first of all, that that's happening because it gives the buying signal that there is enough interest globally for other couples to branch out and to be able to see more fans in different locations, and that there is the business model demand. And I mean, as nasty as it sounds, but there is money to be made, because if there is no money to be made, then there is no chance that those artists would end up going and visiting those locations. So pretty happy about that, because most people are not in position to be able to travel to Thailand for one reason or another. So the artist being able to visit multiple continents provides that kind of opportunity. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'll cover what are different stops from their world tour. And because I am from Europe myself, and that's the most recently announced meeting with details, I am going to look in more depth exactly what is happening in the European Fan Meet, what's the pricing, the benefits, and so on. So, but before we go on to that, if this is your first time on the channel, hi there. My name is Ina. I'm an interfan just like you. Been into the thaigl space for what feels like ever, but it's more like 2 years. I've been to more than 100 thaigl live events on location in Bangkok as well as around the world. And the purpose of this channel is to create entertaining, entertaining content for you, like reactions, interactions, interviews with stars, hopefully very soon. But also create educational content like this one, talking you through how certain events work, what the benefits are, and so on. So if this is something that's interesting for you, please make sure to subscribe, like this, and comment also if there's any other type of videos that you want to see. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at where the World Tour is taking LMSY. So, actually, I am gonna start with one that actually already finished, but just a couple of days ago, LMSY went to Taiwan, 25th of July in Kaohsiung, where they had, from what I'm seeing and the videos that I see on my feed, it looked like it was a really, really good meeting. And the quality also, some of the fan cams, amazing. So definitely happy to see that the besties managed to have that experience. I'm not gonna cover some Chinese fan meets because this is an occasional market for them and place that they go all the time. So I'm not considering that as part of the world tour. Now, the next one in terms of timing is in South Korea, in Seoul, specifically on the 8th of August. There were a bit of concerns of some like visa potential issues, etc. And the besties from Korea wanted to make sure everything is going to be going smoothly. But there was responses that all the right steps are taken. So I think likely, hopefully, there are no challenges. Saranye, Korea. Next one is Manila. So for the Philippines, fan meet will be on the 19th of September. And I'm really excited about this one because every time that I've seen Geostars going to Manila, the content has been amazing. The atmosphere has been wonderful. And we've gotten to see all the stars that went there really relax and let loose in a way that they haven't been doing in other fan meets. So it seems like there's something in the Manila air, So, and I yeah, and all the people that I get to interact with, that are in the geospace from the Philippines, it's always a very fun and entertaining vibe. So I can see why. The next stop is Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, on the October 3rd is when they'll be visiting. I think I think that is the second time that they're going back to that location, but first time for this year. Brazil, specifically happening in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it will be happening on the 9th of October. So I'm seeing right now just a bit of friction there because because the fan benefits that have been announced to be happening in Brazil seem to be less strong than the ones in the other regions and less comparable. So I see that there's open letters sent to the organizers and all that. So looking at them and considering that this is going to be probably a one-off at least for a long time with LMSY, I can understand why the fans are kind of like rallying up and demanding, if possible, to have more comparable benefits. So I hope you get it, besties. I am with you, especially if other regions are getting, yep, 221 in Ho Chi Minh, 221 in Manila, 221 in Madrid. So I can understand why you would be disappointed at a 225 as the highest tier ticket. So, Susunaha, you got this. Um, and the final one after Brazil is in Spain, in Madrid, 28th of November. So as I am a European based, I'm in Belgium. Hello. I am going to cover this one because this is a first fan meet for the European audience for LMSY. Earlier this over the last 12 months, we got to have Inglot visiting, Namtan Film, also in Madrid, Namtan Film, as well as Emmy Bonnie in Rome. So I believe that this is the fourth thaigl couple visiting Europe for a fan meet. So I'd say that's a strong start. So hopefully there'll be more of LMSY and potentially others. So now I'm gonna go and take a look specifically into the table, the benefits, and the categories for the Madrid fan meet and talk you through what each benefit means for you as a fan. So there is a four tiers available tickets. So they are cutely, shaped by the name of actually of the couple. So LMSY. So the beginning of the name is the highest tier ticket, so essentially the VIP, and the lowest one is Y. The pricing range for the ticket is the lowest one, Y, is starting at 125 euros. Then the ticket S is at 200 euros. M is at 325 euros. And L, so the highest one, the VIP ticket essentially, is priced at 450 euros. So that's definitely quite a range when it comes to pricing tickets. It's expected though, because the benefits between the different tiers are varying. So normally the main difference when you go to a fan meet, you so some places have like 2 tiers, 3 tiers, 4 tiers. It really depends on the specific fan meet, and depending on which ticket you get. The one thing that you always get is presence at the main event. Sometimes there are certain sections that are isolated, for example like sound check for highest tiers, but you normally always get access to the full event. And then the other difference essentially is, of course, your seat. So how close you are to the stage. The closer, obviously, the better view, the better fan cams, and your better view of in the most realistic HD ever of those beautiful, gorgeous women. And of course, the benefits themselves. The higher the tier, the more private it is. So it goes from like big groups or certain benefits literally non-existent to being essentially 2-to-1 or 1-to-1 or whatever it is. So I'm going to start going from the top to the bottom and explaining what each benefit is and where it is available for which category, essentially. So the highest one on the top is private talk, 2-to-1 for 30 seconds. So from what I'm seeing, I have on my screen the Ho Chi Minh, Manila, and Sao Paulo meeting. Those do not have any private talk. It's very occasionally that in China you do have those, but it seems in the world tour, at least for those three cities, that's not available. So Madrid is the first one that has that. So essentially, private talk, fan sign is normally how it's called. Is like the girls will be sitting on a table normally, and you walk up. You can record, so make sure you press record before you start walking so that you don't potentially miss it or like it's destabilized or whatever. So you're walking there, you sit down, they start a timer, and it starts ticking for 30 seconds, and in that 30 seconds you can say whatever you want. You can ask them questions, you can ask them to sing, ask them to play a game with you, ask them to pose for a picture or whatever. Touching though, that is normally maybe, I mean, like I've seen, like for example in China, look, me and Sonia occasionally tend to hold hands with fans or play a game with them or whatever, but I would go and assume that there is no touching involved, and if there happens to be, great, but assume that there isn't. So if you're planning to play some kind of hand trick or whatever, bear that one in mind. And think about, like, really one advice that I have for you is think about what you want to say or what you want to do, what you want to ask them to do it, because I've seen people freeze on stage all the time because like they didn't think about it, or well, they get so mesmerized and overwhelmed by finally those queens sitting in front of you that they just freeze. So the more you think about it and plan it, the better chance that that won't happen to you, and you can enjoy it and actually do exactly what you wanted to do. So you have 30 seconds with both of them. That is available in the L category, so 450 euros for everyone. When it comes to the other tiers, so S and Y, the lowest one, don't have that. And out of the second category ticket, 325 euros, 40 random people will have access to it. They will randomly be chosen by lottery or something like that, that they'll either announce a day before the event or on the day itself. It varies. Um, Quick information as well for you. Some people sometimes they're like, I don't, it's really cool, but I'm too shy or I'm too nervous. I don't feel comfortable doing that, whatever. So sometimes some fans tend to buy the highest tier ticket because they want to have a 2-to-1 picture, but they sell the benefit of the fan sign to another person. I don't know whether you can do that, how they track it as bracelets or whatever, but it's something that's definitely done in some other countries, which potentially can offset the 450 euro ticket price for you. So just letting you know that that's maybe a possibility, maybe. Second benefit is photo 2-to-1. So that will be, normally it's a sitting benefit, but sometimes I see the artist standing. So it would be look me on one end, Sonia on one end, and you in the middle. And you can tell them what pose you want. You can show them a picture. In my experience, is the best when it's like a private picture. It's much easier because it's just you in the picture with them, that you can do whatever pose you want. And if they're sitting, obviously you're fixed to the two of them being where they are. But if it's a standing, setup, then you can potentially have like look me Sonia next to each other and you on the side or whatever. So think about and plan two different setups: sitting pose and standing pose, just in case. Then, so this one is available only for the highest tier tickets of 450 euros. That's the only one that has a private shot. Then the second benefit, lowest, is photo 2-to-2. So that will be look me and Sonia and two fans in the picture, probably one on each side. So that one is available in the 325 euro ticket. Then the final photo opportunity is 2-to-10. So that one will be available for the 200 euro ticket. So obviously that's well, it's lower, but also the ticket price is also lower. And it's, if you wanted to at least, still have a picture then with them, even if it's not a private one, it's an opportunity to get that. And normally when it's a group picture, it's really random where you'll be. You might be that you were sitting next to them or you're behind them or whatever, but it's not something you can control because it literally goes in a queue and you fit in where you fit in when it gets to be your turn. Unless you happen to have 9 friends with you and you guys align where everyone will stand, but that's never the case, almost. So the Y category of 125 euros does not have a picture. I'm sorry. Pre-signed photo. So pre-signed photos, so essentially a signed piece of some photo of them, will be available for L and M, so 450 and 325 euro tickets. Soundcheck will also, so soundcheck will last 15 minutes, and that will be for the 450 and 325 ticket. So a soundcheck is kind of what it sounds like, soundcheck. So this is normally done before a couple hours, or at least an hour before the main show itself starts. So it will be just, like the L and M category available into the room. So normally you can stand closer to the stage as well. So they'll come out. Normally they're more wearing casual clothes, outfits, perhaps like not done the makeup just yet, etc. So they'll come out, have like a super mini chat, and literally sing, like maybe 2 songs or so to try out the equipment that they will be using later in the show itself. It's a nice opportunity to have a little bit more of a private moment with them without this bigger crowd, so it feels more intimate. But would I go from like 200 euros to 325 for it if I am not caring about the more private picture? I don't know. Maybe not. But that's up to you to decide. Show 2 hours. So that of course is, as I mentioned earlier, the benefit that's available for everyone. So that's you in the room with them. High touch. So a high touch is essentially at the end of the show when you are kind of like taking your goodbyes with them. So you'll be leaving the room. You can record, right? You can record. So make sure, again, same tip as earlier, start your video before you start walking to them. My worst experience was when I went to Blush Blossom. I had 10 GL celebrities and my phone glitched out. Either glitched out or I didn't press record, whichever it is. It was devastating because I interacted with all of them and I lost that video. So make sure you don't do that. So press the record, and then when you walk by them, and it's literally say, "This is me, look me sitting in front of you." You can do this or handshake or heart or whatever. It's normally one touch only. So assume one touch. They might be a bit more generous that maybe you do like fist bump at heart, but assume one touch. Photo card. So that's available for all four categories. So photo card, in my experience, that's normally from at least three minimum photo cards to 6, 7. I haven't normally seen more of those. And that, yeah. So I don't even remember if I said earlier, but look, date will be 28th of November. It will be in a beautiful cinema type of venue called Cines Callao in Madrid. You can already like look it up on Google. It was announced. And the organizer is Cinisca Live. So you can follow their X or Instagram for the updates because they seem to be posting and answering questions and stuff like that. So now is the 30th of July when I'm recording this video. As of this moment, there is no official announcement exactly of when the tickets will go on sale. They did communicate that it will be sometime in August, but there's no confirmed date right now. They will announce it though in the next couple of days. So if you want to be sure you have the latest, make sure to follow their page. And to prepare yourself, from what I'm seeing, I already made a couple of videos on Instagram and on TikTok, just talking about the meeting, and the engagement is really high. And the venue is not gigantic. Also, as a first meet, despite, the price tag for the meeting, it's high. It's high. It was expected, to be fair, it was expected to be high because Inglot's Film Meet was on the cheaper end compared. There was Namtan Film, which is about the same level, and then there was Emmy Bonnie, which was even higher than that one. So it's somewhere in the middle range between the different ticket prices. So despite the steep price, there is a lot of fans who are from Spain and from around Europe. And I also know from some people from North America who are planning to come for the fan meet. So the competition will be very strong. So if you want to go, I would advise to stay up to date as close as possible. No one is going. Be prepared on the day of buying of the tickets. Like literally be on standby. Maybe even like use multiple devices, not for hacking or botting purposes, but in case there's a queue, which usually there is because there's high enough demand. If you are, I usually use my laptop and my iPad because it's just easier. But I would advise using like two devices, and because we already have the announcement of the date and European prices, flights, hotels, and whatnot have been on the crazy end since the war happened. Um, I would advise on your end to just have a look where you guys are located, just to get an overall sense and idea of what the flight prices are so you know whether it's in your range. Because, for example, if you're coming from North America and the prices are like $1,000 or something like that, it's good to know because you have to budget for the ticket to the event, for the flight, for the hotel, for the expenses when you are in Madrid itself, So all of those are prices you have to assess whether those are acceptable for you or not. So to not get like extra like frustrated later on. And what I would do is that there's a lot of of course booking platforms with free cancellation. So if you would think, if you really plan to go, I would say go like literally right now after this video, go to booking.com, Agoda, whatever, and book some free cancellation accommodation for the time that you'll be there. I would advise to at least go the night before. So the fan meet is on, I think it was Saturday. So go at least one day before the event itself because you want to make sure that that the ticket, sorry, that there's no delay, that there's no cancellation, that you're there on time. Because if you go on the day itself, even if say the event starts at 2 p.m. and you're like, no, my flight lands at 9, girl, the flight industry is bonkers these days and there's tons of cancellations all the time. So don't trust your hard earned money and your passion on the fact that the flight companies will help you, because from what I'm hearing, they're very, very much not. So golden the previous day so that on the day of the event, your only sole focus is the event itself. So that you're prepared. I would advise even go the day before to check the venue itself, where it is, so you feel like more comfortable, more, knowing of the area, more relaxed, So I would strongly advise that you do that. Book that free cancellation accommodation, be on standby for the flights to be aware what the prices are, and also if you can afford it time wise and finance wise, check out Madrid. I've been there a couple of times. It's a beautiful city, so you can combine some GLing with some like small holiday in there. It also makes you self justify the expenses a bit better. That's what I do to feel less ridiculous about doing it. So, anyway, well, this went on for a while, but I hope that this was helpful for you. And now you feel more well equipped and aware how the Madrid fan meeting is, what the benefits are, what the costs are, and all the little things, and just overall what the fan meet setup is, and what you're going to get. And, you can make a more informed decision about what you do. I hope that you do get, if you decide to go, I really, really hope you get the ticket. You get to go there. You get to meet them. You get to have that amazing, stunning moment. I've met LMSY multiple times, and my God, the girls are gorgeous and they are wonderful and they're so, so funny. So you are in for a treat. I'm not lying, like, because they really are something else. You need to go and see for yourself. If you can make it, please do. We've seen so many breakups this year, and you don't know when the next one might be. So if you can make it, do it. And trust me, you will thank me later. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, like if you enjoyed this, and let me know if you got any tips or anything you want me to cover in the next video. Have a great day, besties, and see you soon.